Welcome back, everyone. So you are going to have to listen to me doing a voiceover for the first half of this video. I was playing music a lot of the time and it's going to get copyrighted by YouTube, so I'm doing a voiceover. So as you can see here, we're straight back into it. This is just removing that knackered rear trailing arm. I'd put it back in temporarily. I'd cut the bush off and just put it in temporarily just so I can move the Land Rover in and out of the workshop while I was waiting for parts to turn up. The actual arm itself is probably salvageable, and I will push the old bush out and use a file just to clean it all up and then put it back together again. As you can see, this is the new one going in. It comes supplied with a bush. It wasn't massively cheap. It was like 50 odd quid, but I was just at that point really where I was just, time's not really on my side. Again, new hardware, new everything really. I always make sure with these Defenders that I tend to replace everything that I can when I do. You just spend hours and hours messing around with bolts otherwise. So this is it. When I just use this big old Ugga gun, that's my new snap-on gun. I use it on the lowest setting. I usually like to just try and use a bar just to nip it up, or use if it needs a torque wrench. I don't think these need to be torque wrenched up. They're just done up to fucking tight. So that's what I did with this one. Next it was getting the wheels off the back. Nice big heavy wheels, and I believe this was I was going to assess the welding on the back and then start changing shock absorbers. This was my new press that turned up, 20-ton press, but they only sent half of it, and I'm still waiting for it. It was delivered on Monday, and it is now Thursday night, and I'm still waiting. These are actually a brand new pair of shocks. Well, they're not, they're second hand. I put these on a customer's car about a year ago, and just to pass an MOT, and then he just wanted an upgrade, so we upgraded them to terra firma shocks and springs all around. So I just had them sitting on the shelf, so they were perfect to go on here. This is the small little bit of rust here either side. As you can see, it wasn't too bad really, and you can see the amount of dirt that I'm scraping out of it. Every nook and cranny has been absolutely full to the brim on this, and it always is on all these Land Rovers, and that's what tends to kill them. You can see the bottom there, that bush is just completely toast. I believe that was an advisory, so winding this little boy out here. Everything, to be fair, on this has come. I haven't snapped any bolts, touch wood. It's always been pretty, good to work on, really. There was zero dampening effect in those shock absorbers as well. I think I'll show you later on. This is the other side, so this would be the driver's side back. Oh no, sorry, that is the passenger side back one. This is just me making a patch just to go over there. That's it all welded in. Not my best welding attempt. The welder has actually been knackering around. I actually ran it over a little while back, so it's becoming a bit temperamental. It's not the welder's fault. Again, all nice and sealed up there. I didn't show it, but I did weld that other piece on the other side there. It wasn't the best job, probably the reason I'm not going to show it. So this side is, funny enough, it doesn't really look like much here. It's just a small little scab, and I took a wire wheel to it and I ground it back, and there was literally nothing there. I think it was fiberglass in there or something. There you go. You can see the shock absorber from the other side. There was absolutely no dampening effect there. That was one hand just pushing it down. It wasn't even that hard to push down. I know some of them don't move, but those ones should. I think I was saying here it was missing a washer or something like that, and it was. Luckily I had one lying around, so I put that back in. And there you go. You can see how big that patch had to be on there. I cut all that out and welded that in. That's the new shock absorbers in, looking very shiny. Even had some new washers laying around. This is the main steering bar, the rear steering bar coming out. So just tap that out. This actually was bent like a banana. Not great, really. Don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, yep, that's it. I'm trying to lever that radius arm out. There you go. That actually fell and landed on my foot. So if you're doing this, just be careful. Turns out it had brand new bushes in it, and I don't think they're old at all. It was all copper greased up. Why whoever it is didn't change those bushes, I have no idea. It did turn out that I've actually got two different radius arms on this. I believe one's from a Range Rover Classic. And yeah, so this one was the driver's side one. This was so hard to get out. This clip here was about 15 to 20 minutes of working this backwards and forwards. And this gun's a fully charged gun. It was on it's 1100 newton meters of torque, so it should whip that out pretty quickly, but it didn't. It took lots of on off, and when it eventually did come off, the thing was glowing hot and actually set fire to a piece of cardboard that was on the ramp that I'd used for a template. So as you see here, I'm battling away with it. It's, I don't even, they weren't even advisories or anything like this, but I could tell with this radius arm, especially the drive side one, it didn't look right the way it was sitting. And in a minute, once you see, we'll take it off and you'll see exactly why it wasn't sitting right. Does bamboozle me why people only replace one side on a vehicle of anything suspension related, like bushes and such. There you go, you can see all the smoke coming off that as it comes off. And what's this we're going to see now? Oh, there we go. This is me trying to lever it out. I learnt my lesson, that's why you can see I'm standing the opposite way. So these are the bushes, and you can see that they've actually mushroomed out, and there's a massive gap on the bottom there. And the inserts as well, they were all loose and rattling around. So I don't know, has it had a second-hand radius arm fitted? It could well have done. These were the bane of my life. So I took these out late Tuesday night. Was it Tuesday night? Yeah, late Tuesday night. And Wednesday morning, we went to go and use my friend's press to push them out. One came out absolutely perfect. Just pushed straight out. I think it only took something like 200 whatever pressure it was to push it out. Right, so back talking again. This steering bar is all in. That front one, that ball joint was a little bit of a pain in the arse. We've done this one, we've seen. This one over here, I'm going to go take and use my friend's press, because I did order a new press over here, but they only sent half of it. This steering bar, the rear one, is out, can't go back in yet. Now that is a banana, it doesn't show on camera, but I put a straight edge down it and it rocks all over the place. So that one's all set up, ready to slot in. Obviously we've done all the welding. And yeah, we're on the home straight really, so fingers crossed, tomorrow we should see her all finished and I will book her for an MOT. Well, as you saw in the last clips, we pushed really hard to get an MOT, and I'm glad to say that we have failed again. Failed again. Let's get this back in the workshop, see if we can get it sorted. Right, so what has it failed on? Let's look at that one first. Direction indicator adversely affected by the operation of another lamp, number plate lamp. So that's going to be, I don't know if you can see, but there is a slight flickering of the number plate light when that indicator's on. So that's just going to be an earth. That's nothing to worry about. Headlamp aim too high, too far to the right offside. That's easy enough. I'll just take the cover off of them and they can adjust that and just oil it up. A little bit of welding, which we'll look at in a minute. And then we got 3 wheel bearings. One front, both rears need adjusting. That's fine, we'll do that. Oil leak, but not excessive. We'll give that a clean up and see if they'll let me not deal with that, because I'd like to have an advisory free MOT. However, tyres slightly damaged or perished. Front. Well, we're not going to be doing those. Let's have a look at this welding. Right, so vehicle structure, strengthening plate, fastening insecure, rigidity, so offside front, driver's side. So he said he's marked it for me. Oh, there we go. A little bit of yellow chalk. Up. I mean, I probably should have noticed that, to be fair. It doesn't even look like he's poked that. That's easy enough. Just bang a plate on there. As I say, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I do keep this, I think I'll probably put a galvanised chassis on it. It has been plated quite a few times. I know my mum and my dad really like this, so who knows where it's going to go. So, yeah, we'll deal with I probably won't deal with that earth problem, to be fair. I'll let my friend who works with me, he can deal with that. He's an auto electrician. I'm sure it's just an earth. Although I am the one that wired in that number plate light, so that might be my fault. The welding I'll do, headlamp aim, I'll get that ready, and I think we'll just nip up all those wheel bearings, which would just leave us with a few advisories, which is actually pretty good for a late 90s Defender. So, right, let's get that wheel off, let's jack her up, and let's go from here. Right, so we're going to start off with something easy. Do one of the wheel bearings, just nipping it up. Now, I did see a comment that someone said they'd like to know a bit more in depth. I've got a little bit more time, so I will show you how to do one of them. First, you just ping off the cap, use whatever brand of screwdriver you want. Behind it, you have a circlip. Now, you need to choose, look at this lovely little set. There's a mental deal from Snap-on yesterday. No, I do own things that aren't Snap-on, just so you're aware. Right, so let's find the little holes in the circlip. Are you there, is it? Oh, yeah. Now make sure this thing doesn't go into outer space, because they always flipping do. Then you can never find the fuckers. And that one's going to try and go to outer space. Oh, there we go. You may or may not have shims behind this, because this is what takes the end float out of the hub. Now you want to crack off these, which I believe are a 17. Now I might be being a little bit generous thinking I'm going to do this without... Oh, no, got it. Tell you what, we're getting that done. Bear with me. So it's on a low speed. I want to go snapping things. This is also how you change one of your driven flanges, or whatever the hell they're called, hub flange. Right, there we go. So, what you'll see in here is we've got 2 nuts and a washer. So, what you need to do is, hopefully this will go okay. These actually look relatively new. You need to bend this tab up, which will allow you to undo this nut. Then you take the washer off, then the nut behind is what sets the tension on the bearing. Then you just do it back together again. So I'll get the tools for that, and then we'll go from here. So, using a chisel, aka a screwdriver, got that. Then you take your nice big socket, 52mm, like so. These are usually a little bit tighter, but the other ones are never that tight because they're loose. So, oh, there we go, like so. Wind you off. There he is. Then the washer, which will also be bent over onto the other one, but you don't need to worry about that. So get him out. Come on, you. There you come. There we go. Now you've got another nut in there. Now that is the nut that you set the wheel bearing. Now look how loose that is. Shouldn't be like that at all. It shouldn't be massively tight, but basically it's a feel thing. So you go until you feel it bind like that, okay? And then you crack it off like that, all right? And what that'll do, so as I say, nip her up, then back her off just a fraction, like that. That is going to take that plate. You'll struggle to feel that now, but yeah, that'll take it out, which is beautiful. And then it's basically just the reverse. Just put it back together. Make sure I always replace these, but I might have some, I'll have a look. Hammer all of these flat, so it's just a flat washer. Put it on, then you hammer one side down over the nut in there, and then you screw the other nut over the top, and then you bend up the lip against that. That'll stop either of those nuts undoing. Because this one, the top one, is the one that you do up a little bit tighter. Don't go too tight, because you could start tightening that one. But that's it basically. So let me throw this back together again. Right, so now that's all back together again. Then we just want to do these up. These go to 65 Newton meters. It's very important that you tighten these up in a star pattern. Using a bar here just to stop it from going anywhere. There's one. 2, 3. Get on there, you. 4. Just double check them all. Beautiful. Now, next part is circlip. This shaft does tend to move in and out. What you can do is you can get a bolt. This isn't the right thread, but they normally work. You can put it in at an angle because that is actually a threaded hole. And you can just pull, as you can see, you can pull that out. So first on with the shims. Then we get the circlip from hell. Oh, clean, Mr. U. Circlip pliers, come on, you. Oh, I hate doing these. I don't know why, I just hate. Oh, wow. Would you look at that? Let's check it's seated. Appears to be. Oh no, it's not. Come on then, out you come. Go on, snap in there, you. There we go. Beautiful. Just put Mr. Cat back on. Done. 2 more to go, and then it's the welding and the light. Well, she's only gonna pass. What do we got? 1 oil leak and 2 tyres on the front. I don't think they're very bad. Nah, I think they're just being a bit pedantic there. There we go though. So that is obviously off because I had them adjust the headlights. So I just need to put that back on again tomorrow. So it was all a little bit seized. What happened was this little chap here had popped through. So it was on the wrong side. So I unwound it, took all this apart and then just slotted it back in. And they've adjusted it for me. So there we go. Is this the end of me owning this? Will I sell it? Will I keep it? Who knows? It's getting its tracking done next week. Yeah, I'm going to service it. Yeah, I'll probably do another video on it. We'll see how it goes.